During International Women's Day, there was an awesome statue unveiled in New York, Wall Street to be specific. It was the Fearless Girl, a 4-foot statue featuring a young girl who's basically standing up to the bull. And I love this because it's a representation of how there needs to be, more gender equality in corporate jobs, and it went along with the theme for International Women's Day. Now, here's an unexpected twist to the story. The person who sculpted the bull is really upset about this because he feels like the Fearless Girl has completely flipped the meaning of the bull from a positive thing to a negative one. Now, let me give you the details. Since March 7th, Charging Bull has faced off against Fearless Girl, a statue of a girl posed with her fists on her hips that was commissioned by State Street Global Advisors, a financial firm based in Boston. Now, the artist who created the bull, his name is Arturo de Modica, is not happy about this. De Modica said that Fearless Girl was an insult to his work, which he created after the stock market crashes in the late 1980s. She's there attacking the bull, he said.
Is she? That famous attack move called standing there.
That's it. I'm speechless sometimes, but instead of saying, you know what, this is brave. The young girl is facing off with the bull. We salute that, we celebrate it. It's all of a sudden, which is always what we deal with as being empowered women and being strong, that we can't just be strong without being a threat to manhood. It can't just be strong.
Or insulting manhood, right? But look, to be fair to him and what his lawyers say, he's not upset about the notion of gender equality. He says he's a proponent of that. He just doesn't like that this imagery changes the symbolism of the bull. But my argument to that would be, look, it's not the Fearless Girl who changed the symbolism. It's a corrupt political system. It's the fact that we didn't have a stock market crash in the 1980s. We did have we not only had a stock market crash in the 1980s, we continuously deal with this economic situation where the very people that you're defending in Wall Street have been taking advantage of us over and over again. I look at that bull and I don't think, here's what he believes the bull means: freedom in the world, peace, power, and love. I don't look at the bull and think of that. And that has nothing to do with the Fearless Girl. That has to do, and it's unfair to him. It has more to do with what we've allowed Wall Street to get away with.
Dude, it's the same sculpture. Your sculpture's the same sculpture as her. Yours was, let's be optimistic and powerful in the face of something that's daunting and scary. And that's exactly what her sculpture is all about. You had the stock market crash, you built the bull. My favorite thing is, he recalls, he's an artist, I get it. Artists are emotional, and I see when someone turns it on its head. But did you know what The Room is, the movie The Room?
Yes.
The movie The Room is the worst movie ever made.
I love The Room.
But you love it because?
Because it was a story of someone who survived.
No. Okay, there's 2 movies called The Room.
Oh, okay.
There's a movie called The Room in Los Angeles. Yours is like an Oscar-nominated thing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
about. There's a movie called The Room that has a cult following in Los Angeles because it was made by this really eccentric, maybe he's Romanian, but he might just be from Brooklyn and pretend to be Romanian guy who looks like a vampire. And it is the biggest train wreck of a movie.
It's the worst movie ever.
The green screen, it's the movie, the video goes by and the background doesn't change, and they recast actresses in the middle of it. And it was originally intended in a certain way, but people started to appreciate it more as the train wreck that it is. But the guy who made it embraces that now and says, oh, that's a different way to look at my movie. And now he appears when they screen it in Los Angeles, the way they screen Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that's what this guy needs to do, Modica needs to do.
I love that, I love that. And you know what, I can't believe I didn't even think about this originally, but isn't art supposed to be something that's left for the viewer to interpret? Or the consumer to interpret? So isn't it a little unfair for the artist to say, no, You have to love the bull and think of the bull in a positive light, okay? If you don't, you're insulting the bull.
Yeah, you're right.
It's weird. It's weird to say, no, you have to interpret the art the way that I want you to interpret it. Doesn't that go against what art is?
Yeah, and it changes. It changes through time. Like if you think about some of the art pieces that were not appreciated at one time and then later became these, classic, iconic pieces of art, it changes with this is a new generation.
Yeah.
You guys are a new generation of warriors and justice warriors, and the things that were perceived in the past sometimes that were okay with the status quo, that were oppressive, and you guys are not having it. We're not having it. So it's not going to have the same connotation. And even if you remove that girl,
right?
When you see that bull, you don't think about what he was thinking about because this is a different time.
This is a different era. You're absolutely right. And look, for me, this story is not about, we got to fight for gender equality. I mean, I believe in fighting for gender equality. I love what the Fearless Girl statue represents. But even if we took her out of the picture and we focus solely on what that bull means and how I interpret it, it might have meant something positive back then. But I look at it now, and when it's charging, I feel like it's charging at the American people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I have nothing against the artist, and I feel for him because no one wants their art to be looked at in a negative light. But at the same time, the times have changed. We are dealing with people who have had their lives destroyed because of economic meltdowns due to, some of the bad behavior at Wall Street. So he's got to understand that perspective as well.
Look, it's like it's a sculpture garden now. It's like a Christmas tree when the people go like, when we got our first Christmas tree, we bought one ornament and then we bought one a year after that.
Yeah.
And before we knew it, we have this beautiful story of our lives. That's what this is, and this is amazing. This is really good art. This is better art with that bull charging at that girl than it would be if it was just that girl in the middle of the square. It would still be awesome on its own, but it's really awesome like this. My question to him is like, how do you feel about like how people typically interact with your bull when they go visit Wall Street?
That's a good
Because there's
point.
like one really shiny part of your sculpture, and it's that bull's testicles, where everyone has like that cheeky video photo where they just go, I'm really doing it. The other thing he said is, I'm gonna go. He said he got really emotional when he first thought about it, and he said he wanted to go try to do something to end the face-off because it made him feel uncomfortable. The face-off, and I think that's aside from anything about the transformation of his thing, that made him feel uncomfortable. And he said he wanted to go down and turn that bull around himself, which would be even worse because then the bull's just like, look at my nuts, little girl.
Or running from her.
Yeah, or running from her.
He lost.
Anyway,
and we have to face our internal contradictions, and we have to face the realities. I think these two facing each other is really powerful.
We're not the Young Turks, you're the Young Turks. You power this show. Together, we built something amazing. We've broken stories like the Donna Brazil story the mainstream media wouldn't break. We built this studio, we built this network. It's now #1, all thanks to you guys. Let's come build it even bigger and stronger. TYTnetwork.com/join.